Are you guys tired of being lied to? I feel it every day since I do all this research and find something new each and every single time. Do you guys believe the weather balloons from China were not detected before entering our airspace? I mean, seriously, guys. Hundreds of miles into the United States and no one detected anything? I know that they told us that, it's tricky to track these things, but it's what, 200 feet tall? You can see it from the ground. Why weren't they able to track it earlier? Or, here's a thought, were they actually aware of it but waited for an opportunity to tell the American people about it? Kind of like what happened with the midterm elections. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm gonna discuss that in further detail later in this video. The housing market continues to tumble even though we're being told that things have never been better. And to be honest, we're getting really mixed signals from the stock market. Do you guys agree that we're now on the path to financial freedom? Drop me a quick comment down below, yes or no on that one. Now, before I continue, please take a second, smash the like button for the video. Appreciate the love, you guys. It also helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to what's going down in Washington, D.C., the housing market, the stock market, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and everything that is affecting our lives, our families, and our bank accounts, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you own a home, make sure your largest investment is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. The link is in the description down below. It only takes like 15 seconds.
Were balloons floating around under Trump?
I do think this is spin on the Biden White House's part to say, well, it happened back then, they didn't shoot it down, and therefore to justify their dithering and inaction here. My office has been briefed by the Office of Secretary of Defense and the current Pentagon that it happened over Florida, it happened over Texas, and that it's happened before. We have more detailed questions, but what's unclear, Stu, and this is the key point, is did the Pentagon under the Trump administration brief the Trump White House and give them the option to take action, or did they decide not to brief them for whatever reason? And there's some speculation. I've talked to Trump White House officials over the weekend that the Pentagon deliberately didn't because they thought Trump would be too provocative and too aggressive. So that's what we need to get to the bottom of. And one person I'm waiting to hear from that we haven't heard from in that whole list is former Secretary of Defense and General Mattis, who was the secretary during this time period. What did he know and what did he decide to pass on and brief to the president?
At some point, the balloon will disappear from our headlines, but
that was Congressman Mike Waltz talking about the possibility of spy balloons during the former administration's time, while also insinuating that then President Donald Trump was not told of the existence of the balloons and its crossing of our airspace because they felt as if he would have acted aggressively. So who's lying at this point? I swear the story just keeps changing. I don't know who to believe now. Someone has to be lying in the middle because this just doesn't make sense. Why? Because General Mattis is saying that he wasn't aware of the balloons as well.
We've all been reading about the balloon, we've been watching on television.
Yeah, the balloon's serious. I don't mean to make light of it, but don't worry that it suddenly was able to find things out, satellites that are up in low Earth orbit weren't spotting already. You got to wonder, was it stupidity or left hand not telling the right hand what they're doing? Why the Chinese chose that time to do it? But I'm going to tell for any of you young guys in the audience, if you want to make a 4-star general, fight enemy generals dumber than a bucket of rocks. Okay? Brilliant. But in this case, I would still say it's serious, but I wouldn't get overly worried at all about it. But there are some questions we all, as Americans, need to answer, I think. Did it really happen during the past administration? Because there doesn't seem to be anybody from the past administration who's aware of it. I'm not for the first 2 years of that administration. Now, it's possible there's old radar tapes that shows things that now if we go back, know what it looks like, go back and say, well, that wasn't an ice storm over the Aleutians, that was a balloon or something, I don't know. But no, there's some answers that the American people are owed. And could we not have taken it down sooner? I mean, NORAD, North American Air Defense, has got a lot of Canadian fighters and the Alaska-based U.S. fighters up there intercepting Russian planes routinely up over the Bering Straits. So
Is Mathis being thrown under the bus, or was he actually not aware? Now, if it's true that the balloons were spotted under the Trump administration, why did they choose to keep this from him? Isn't that treason? Now, at the same time, why are they now being informed of this out of the blue? Is this another smokescreen? Now, I've got so many questions, to be honest with you guys. It's really frustrating. The balloon was here for like a week and nobody made a peep. Now, if the situation with Trump was true, it's then been years since these balloons were in American airspace. Why the need to inform the public now? And then, of course, the Biden administration had a F-22 fighter jet shoot one out of the sky. Is this because they want to send a message to China? Or is it to put fear into our hearts? Don't look now, because it certainly seems like another conflict is brewing. And again, somebody's lying here. That much is true, and it's actually annoying to think that they're trying to make us look stupid. Like, we don't hear the inconsistencies in their stories. It makes me think that this could be leading to something bigger. And when we get down to it, it gives the government all the more reason to send more support toward Taiwan. And they're going to be using this footage as evidence of China's provocation towards us. And then we have another proxy war on our hands a few years from now. And no, it can't be because China's setting itself up to be one of the superpowers after the dollar's taken down. Nah, that's not it. But I'll tell you what, that is why I am investing in gold a little bit more heavily. If you guys want to learn the best way to invest in gold right now, before any type of potential economic collapse, feel free to hit the link in the description down below for the best way to invest in gold. But guess what? The United States is not afraid of the BRICS nations. Note the sarcasm in my voice. But what do you guys make of all this? Now, before I move on though, I'd like you guys to know that China did in fact inform the White House of the balloon, and they did it earlier this month. The balloon story isn't that distracting to me for me to not remember that we're all still struggling with our economy. We're seeing layoffs, we're seeing credit cards getting maxed out to the limit, and even seniors starting to apply more and more for SNAP and EBT benefits. I mean, take note that this is on top of the Social Security increases that were received for 2023. It's just that times are so tough that they need all the help that they can get. Now, were you guys aware that the annual interest rate payment on the government's debt is $850 billion? Now, just imagine paying almost $1 trillion in interest every single year. That's just insane to think about. Wouldn't it be just smarter to pay off the debt? But that's where our government is right now. Our kids, our grandkids' kids gonna probably still be paying for this debt. However, no matter where you're at right now, I think that it's safe to say that this is one of the worst times to get a home. I mean, I'm just saying. And I'm pretty sure that 82% of millennials who are first-time home buyers hoped that they knew this before buying. I'm not kidding. 82% of millennials have at least one regret about their first home purchase. Some don't like the fact that they got into the housing market with interest rates at this level. Some are surprised to only be learning a few of the ins and outs of the market after deciding to get in. This one's not so shocking. 14% of them are finding that their home's value keeps going down, with 11% just realizing that the upkeep that they have to pay once they've moved in. And that's why I say that this could very well be one of the worst times to get into the housing market. And to make matters worse, we continue to see layoffs. That cannot be good for the housing market either. Look at this one. Zoom, a company that flourished during the health crisis, is now cutting off 15% of their workforce, or about 1,300 employees. Their CEO, Eric Yuan, says that they're doing this because the uncertainty of the global economy. Basically, they got a gut feeling and they're like, you know what, we're just gonna go ahead and clip 1,300 people and ruin their financial lives. That makes it what? I don't know, the fourth or fifth large tech company besides Dell, Google, Microsoft announcing layoffs by the thousands to start off 2023. But still, we're told that a recession's not happening. Don't worry about it. What do you guys make of all this? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully we can have some meaningful conversations down there. Sometimes I feel like the comments are almost better than my videos. Now, on the topic of meaningful conversations, I want to have one of those with you guys. Now, I understand that the economy is not doing all that great. Jobs are on the line. But if you want to make a change, you got to start with yourself. Now, there's a lot we can talk about, but we can definitely start with budgeting, work our way up to side hustles and small businesses, then move into investing in real estate when the deals present themselves, and of course, in the stock market. There's really no limit to what we can achieve. But it's up to you to strive for financial freedom, and it's up to me to share my experiences. But if you want to learn more about those topics, feel free to join us over in the Patreon community. There's a link in the description down below this video. But before I go, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video. Also subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. Appreciate you guys watching. Y'all be kind to one another, and I'll catch you on the next one. Be safe.